Hello neighbors. I'm going to start this by saying we had such an awesome class today. The Murray County Master Gardeners had sponsored a class today along with the Marshall County Seed Library, and we did winter sowing. It was really encouraging to see how many ladies were there today, gentlemen, kids. We had whole families come. Winter sowing is not complicated. Like most of the things in my life in general is complicated, but most of the things in my life is not complicated. And winter sowing is a great way to start seeds without getting all of the trays and all of the instructions. And this is a very simple way to do it. So we had that class for about an hour and a half. And then I taught vanilla class, how to make vanilla and cinnamon extract. And we kind of went over some of the other ones, but I made cinnamon and vanilla in the class. That also had a lot of excellent people there asking great questions, learning how to do things like that to better their lives. So on the way home, I'm gonna stop by the property. I haven't been here in a few weeks, which sucks. In this stage of my life, I'm very, very torn. Most of the time, I'm an outdoor worker. I want to be outside cutting. I want to be outside gardening. I want to be outside working and growing things. It's what I do. And that is where my love is. Part of the the hardest part right now is I have a job that I am so grateful for. I get to go to work every day. I get to sew. And I get to do it from home, which is not something that most people get to say that they really do like what they do. And I am so ever grateful for it. The hardest part is just having a job in general. Insert eye roll. I'm used to being a stay-at-home mom, but we're all making sacrifices right now so that we can get this property going. It will get easier as soon as we get moved over here, which should be, I'm crossing my fingers and saying by the end of February, we should be over here. We were hoping it would be by the end of December. We didn't realize the amount of trees that had to come down. We were intended on taking just 5 or 6 down here. I'll show you in a second. Because they curved a little bit and we wanted a straight line for where our electricity is gonna go. First choice, we didn't want electricity. We wanted to have solar. I actually cannot afford solar right now. If anybody, Nashville Solar, if you want to sponsor us, that would be amazing. But I cannot afford a big lump sum of money for solar. And part of that has to do with we have not sold our current land. So we actually own 2 pieces of property, which I never in a million years thought I would have said that. But we do. We own 2 pieces of land right now. And we're going from 1, which is 4 acres, to 1, which is 28 acres. And so we are working on getting the 28 acre property, which is what my humans call the compound. We're trying to get the compound ready to be able to bring the camper over. We're still gonna have to live in the camper for a little bit, but at least when everything's over here, we can do chores over here. We can then work, the boys can work here. The 2 youngest don't drive yet, so it's really complicated to get over here because I can't really get over here during the day. I'm working. There's nothing that we can do over here at night because you need light, and it still gets dark at about 5 o'clock. So I don't know if you can see the sun is. I'll show it to you in a second. The sun is right on the tree line, or like a little bit below, and it's 4:15. So I know that it's staying lighter later, which is so helpful, but that's kind of, we're in this stuck situation right now where it is chilly. It says it's 46 degrees out here, but I can definitely see there's a very stiff wind. So it's still pretty chilly. The guys would have been over here cutting some more. It's gonna be 58 on Tuesday. So I told them, I said, if you can just get more cut and chopped up, the boys and I Tuesday can come over and move some things. And then I can just work late at home. Then I was looking something up on my phone. A message popped up. Somebody in town had a chicken coop and a shed which is what they use for their chicken coop. So it was a shed, and then it was some chain link fencing around it, and then like a little mini coop inside it type of thing. And they were giving it away for free. It says it needs to go by tomorrow. So of course, me being the me that I am, the miller that I am, I texted that to my husband, who doesn't have Facebook and can't open any of the things I send him. And so I sent him some pictures, and I was like, just go look at it. If you think it looks like crap and it's trash and you don't want it, don't take it. We don't have chickens right now. We've got like 4 that are bantams that just roam everywhere that we've never been able to catch. But my chickens stopped laying eggs for us. They probably got too old because we haven't purchased any since the house fire. So they just stopped laying. I don't want to feed them anymore if they're not going to give me anything in return, and they got turned into pig food. So we would just take a couple, kill them, and throw them into the pigs. Pigs love chicken. So we no longer have egg-laying chickens. I am considering getting some for this year, but on the flip side of that, my boss has more chicken eggs than he knows what to do with, and so I can always take fresh eggs home from his house, and it has not been a problem yet. So I'm probably not going to get egg-laying chickens. We will, however, be purchasing some meat layers, and I like the Cornish crosses. I've actually raised Cornish crosses to egg-laying stage. They have laid eggs for me. So I have not yet had a problem with Cornish crosses. Those people who have a problem with them getting too big and lethargic and them not walking around are not feeding them appropriately. So that's kind of where we're at. I won't use it as a chicken cage, but it's a chain link fence one, and so we would use it as a dog cage because, you know, I have dogs. We're down one. We saved one from, my child saved one from death, and that one is now at the animal shelter so that it can get adopted. Very sweet dog. Now we have 2 more that we're training that I think will probably both get adopted. I really, really like Loki. He is such a super sweet dog. But we're still kind of in the, if you're not working at our farm, then you don't need to be here. And that's just a buckling down decision that needs to be made. You know, would I love to get peacocks? Oh, I'm going to have peacocks someday. They absolutely serve no purpose on the farm. Now, will I have them so that I can gather their eggs and sell fertilized eggs? Yes, they need to be able to pay a little bit of their existence. But we're kind of really paring back on things that don't produce on our farm so that I can buy things like apple trees because I want trees. So anyway, my friend Nick Ferguson has trees for sale, and so I know that they aren't going to last much longer. So I really need to go buy some of those. Even though I'm not entirely exactly sure where they're going to go, I think that they can easily go in buckets for now. And then let them grow a little bit, plant them when they're a little bit bigger. And I don't think that's going to cause a problem. So I'm going to turn you guys around, and I'm going to drive in. We'll go back and see, they brought the cage part over and the fencing part over. He had like a little mini shed at the end of it where they were in, that was their nesting coop, and they're disassembling that right now so they can get it on a trailer-ish so that they can drive it through town, probably illegally because that's what we do. There's a sun that I was telling you about. It is now about 4:30, and the sun is right at the tops of most of the trees, and so we're going to drive in here. I'm sitting in a decent ways in my driveway, but we're just going to go on back here and see if we can see any of this that has been clipped. We have a little weed eater that's on 2 wheels that we push, and so I had a child, he did this so that we can at least get our burn piles kind of together and not on top of this. And then next time we come, you know, we always kind of bring that with us so that next time we come, you know, we can do a little bit more. I don't know if those are ground cherries, I don't know. Anyway, this is this golden stuff is broom sedge, and it's disgusting. And I think it's a sign of poor soil. So this place, if you're new, ooh, there's a mound. Trying to see if that looks like it's ant hill or if it looks like something's been digging. Might be an ant hill. This place in the middle here, that's the open field, I think it's about 7 acres, 6 or 7, and it has been row cropped for the last 800 years. I don't know. However long that they've owned it. I believe the people that we bought it from, the Golds, I believe they've owned it forever. And so it has been row cropped as long as they've owned it. Those are thistles. Anything that you see that's, see if I can zoom in on that guy right there. See how it's got like fuzzy, those are seeds like on a dandelion, and that's a thistle. There was one back over there. I think there's one more over there. They did not get chopped down when they were supposed to get chopped down. We only have so much time in our life. And the faster that we can get this into our permaculture plan so that I don't have to mow, I'm not mowing. Mowing is, I think, top #1 biggest waste of time in my, not in my life, but that I believe to be the biggest waste of time. Here we are at the back corner. So right behind there is a little streamish. Unfortunately, this, you can see through the golden on that side, is the neighbors. I wish that, like, we will put more trees here so that we can bring it forward. I don't know what kind of trees. I've got one of the things that Nick sells now is a pack for pigs, but I don't know if I want big oak trees back there or not. Let me see if I can stop and you can see how much the tree is blowing. Of course it's going to settle down just a tiny bit, but you can see, and that it's a fairly stiff wind. So, oh look, I can see. There's feels like it's almost a little soft back here. Eek. This is why we drive a truck, so that we can get bounced around. So this is the little, that's the little coopy thing that was inside the fence. So they had this little, that thing looks tiny. I'm not even sure that 4 chickens could fit in that dumb little thing. Anyway, they lived in town. No hate. These are rolls of wire that we were gifted from a friend, and we had some of those ourselves. Those are the panels. So they had those panels up, and then they had that little chicken coop inside those panels that backed up to one of those like 8x10, crappy sheds that you're gonna find at Home Depot or Lowe's or anything like that. Just a regular shed. There's our wood storage so far. It's, I think, 4 layers deep. I am so freaking excited about being able to burn wood next fall for heat. And then that little thing in the middle, we'll zoom in right there, that is my well. And that's where it comes out at. And no, we're not going to necessarily leave all the stuff around it. We really want to build a well house around it. You can kind of see what looks like cement in front. Let's see if I can do this. In front right here. And that's all of the tailings, all of the sludge that they pumped out of the well, and they just kind of let it go. Well is there. Now if I can take you over here, and then that is the dirt pile is from septic and the septic tank. That's what they dug out. And then right there beside it, you can hopefully see all of our red flags that we're going to have. We marked out our house and how it looks. I really do want to be a foster parent again. In order to do that though, this house of this size probably isn't going to cut it. I think I can have 1 human, or I can have 2 same-sex siblings is how that works, because 2 same-sex siblings can can stay in one room. You can't as long as they're under the age of 7, I believe it is. Otherwise, under the age of 7, I can have I can have a boy and a girl, if they're siblings, stay in the same room. But then once they get to be 7, they have to have separate rooms. Our house will only have 1 extra bedroom, and I really need an office. So that's all got to be dictated. You know, if we want to have extra humans living with us, then we might need to think about building a bigger place. You can see up front, I'll get closer. Those are the end of our septic system right there. And we have all of this space that is going to be most amazing trees. And originally, okay, so there's reference of the front. Originally this whole thing was gonna be a pond, like the whole thing. We might end up moving it to this side. I haven't figured that out yet. We don't want it to be near our electricity, but we want a really, really, really big pond, because that is one thing that I love to do is fish. And the fishing in Tennessee, the fishing is good, but the fishing regulations are stupid. So you have to get a fishing license. Okay, you have to do that everywhere, which I still don't agree with it, but okay. In order to get, there's certain lakes where you also have to have like day passes at the lake. So not only do I have to pay for fishing licenses for my entire household, only one of the humans is below needing a fishing license, but then I have to buy day passes. And some, you know, you can go and say, well, it's only $10. Yeah, but it's $10 times 5. There's still an extra $50 when I want to go fishing. So some of that sucks. And you know, that's the way it is in life. People don't understand, you know, there's a lot of people that want to say, oh, hey, just go XYZ. It's only $10. Yeah, but it's $10 per person. I have a lot of per persons. We're gonna go up the down just a little bit here. And stop. So it shows, you can see this whole big huge thing. There's 3 more piles right here of brush that we've cut down. I might think about renting a brush cutter and seeing like a chipper, a brush. I might have a friend who's got one, and we will see. But I keep looking for them online, and they're really expensive for not many horsepower. So you can see how much progress they've made. I think that these 2 over here are staying. That one's staying. That one's staying. You can obviously tell that one's dead. So there's 2 right here that are dead, and then down here there's kind of one in the middle, and then clear down here there's a couple more that are dead. But anything that is dead, dying, or isn't straight, so like this one right here, I'm going to zoom in on it. That one's leaning quite a bit towards where we're going to put the line. The next one is straight, but you can see kind of some of these branches that are coming off towards the line, and I cannot absolutely afford to pay money to put up an electrical line and then, you know, have something break it down. And then there's, you know, still the tree limb, little widowmaker looking thing that we cut the tree down, it caught on the other tree. We really have no idea how we're going to get that down from there. We're probably going to have to hook my truck up to it and see if we can't pull it down. That's what happens when you leave boys alone to their own devices. But this is where we are. Still cleaning it out, still getting underbrush, you know, down underneath here in the back. You can still see there's still like some juniper type bushes. There's a lot of privet that we're trying to get out of there. There's privet all the way around. But just cleaning it up so that we can get the power. That's the next step. And then once power comes in, power and a well pump. So the well pump is a whole new dilemma that we're working on, and I will give you guys more information about that. Since our well is so deep, I think that the well pump that people typically use is goes down to about 300 feet, and then you can use some kind of poly tubing, and not a big deal. Well, since ours is so much deeper, if we want a well that, or if we want a pump that will pump from further down, first of all, we have to buy a more expensive pump. I think it's going to run us about $1,200. And then something about, instead of like the poly isn't strong enough for the pressure that it will now create. And so we're going to have to go with some kind of solid sided tubing. And then you're going to have solid sided tubing all the way down. And we really wanted to put a well house on the top. And if you have solid sided tubing and then you ever have to pull out the well pump, you have to take a roof off, which it is what it is. Decisions, choices, and all that fun stuff. But there we go. That's an update. I'm so glad I got to come out here and see it. It's really helpful in remembering why we're fighting for all of this, is to know that this is ours, and it's going to be amazing when we get moved over here. This is the view that I see every time I pull into my driveway. There used to be a garage there. And I tell my kids everything in life is a choice. And it is. Everything is a choice. And can some things happen to you, like I didn't choose this to happen to me and it did? Absolutely. But how you deal with it is a choice. So I can pull into this house every day, this driveway, and think how much my life sucks because I no longer get to have this house that I paid for. I don't get to live in it. I don't get to be here. I don't get to be in it. I'm living in a camper. Or I can pull into this driveway and I can use this to fuel me to work harder, to want a better life, to go work 12 hours, cutting down trees, stacking logs, chopping wood, cutting back grass, doing things that are not fun so that I can make a better life. So was this a tragic accident? Yeah, it was crap. But those two windows that you're staring at right now, my daughter's bed's on the other side of those. And by the grace of God, we were home. She was in her bed. She was working on schoolwork, and she heard a noise out here. There was actually a garage. A garage was here, and then we had a carport over the top of this. She actually heard a noise out here. So right in between, basically where the end of this wall is right here, there was a wall that came out. And up against that is where the fire started. And she heard a noise. She came into the room. This is our front door right there. And right on the inside of that front door right there is a recliner that I was sitting in doing my work. And she came in and she said, "Mom, did you hear that?" And I said, "I didn't hear anything. I was on the phone." But about, I would say 3 blocks behind us, we have a major highway. And I asked if she wouldn't open this front door right there and see if she could come out here and see if something had happened up at the highway, you know, if there was an accident that we needed to go help or what. And she looked directly out at the garage and she said, "Mom, the garage is on fire." That was 3 years ago. So realize in life, everything is a choice. Are you going to pull up to this house and are you going to let it get you down? And are you going to think, woe is me? My life sucks. My world was shattered. Or are you going to use this to realize how much you were given that everybody's still alive? Or how much you're going to love living over at the new house? It's a lot of work. All this stuff that you see, that whole house has to come down. The refrigerator hasn't been opened in 3 years. Washer and dryer is still in there. I'm pretty sure we got all the clothes out of it. All of this that you see here, all of what we had to deal with our life and you know, your life still's going. There's a makeshift garage over there, workshop, so that the boys can still keep their tools in it, and they can still redo, you know, if they've got to work on a lawnmower or something, they can go in there and get things. All of this has to get moved. It's going to take, and we only have a tiny trailer that barely, it didn't survive the fire. It got burnt. PSA, your house coverage doesn't cover vehicles sitting in the driveway. This up here, that one right there is a Miata that my child was going to restart. He was working on the front end of it. Total loss, and house insurance won't cover it. Our trailer, because the trailer wasn't, our trailer is covered by the vehicle insurance that is pulling it at the time, and it's only covered when it's hooked up to a vehicle driving down the road. So the trailer was an enclosed trailer. It actually had, if I can zoom in on that one, you might be able to see the waves in the seat. It's schmelty, like right around there. It had 4 kayaks in it, and I think only one of them is still watertight. So we lost all those, and half of the trailer, it's down. We had to cut the whole top of it, so it kind of is flatbed right now, and we get to use that. So we make do with what we have. Don't complain about how bad your life is, because there are plenty of people over in Western North Carolina and Eastern Tennessee right now that don't have houses, but yet live in tents. I at least have a camper. The camper sucks. It's small. Realize everything in life is a choice. And what choices are you going to make today?